Time for the ride home in ENC.
Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
Bill, guess what I'm doing?
You are texting the coach.
No, I need to, but I'm not. I'm using AI to finish up some holiday and Christmas shopping. AI.
Hey, Patrick, here's my problem with AI. If AI gets to where it can talk, and then we won't have any sports talk radio jobs because they'll just be able to punch stuff into AI and they'll do the sports talk radio, and we're going to get laid off. That's my problem with AI.
You know, here's where I think, now, is that a valid concern? Sure. But I think by the time it becomes a valid concern, Pilk, you will have moved on up the ladder or elsewhere. You will have moved to a point in your career where either you are doing something maybe completely different or you're at the pinnacle of your career and people are going to be gunning for you. In other words, I don't think this is happening soon because, yeah, you can put generic stuff into it and it will spit out generic stuff, but it's not quite that detailed yet.
True.
Although what I did ask it about something with with Christmas shopping, pretty interesting what I got back. Now I'm just glad it doesn't have purchase power.
Yeah, so the question is, not to tell tales out of school, but is this for the nieces and the nephews?
No, this is something for this is actually something for me I would like to get. So.
There you go. Little buying yourself something for Christmas. I like it.
Something I don't need. All right, live show today.
Do it live! Do it live!
Tomorrow, a fresh edition. It is our Festivus show. I got to find all the Festivus cuts, I suppose. Unless Pilk's going to find them and play them, which I don't know if he can do. Tomorrow, the Festivus Spectacular will feature myself, Philip the Ref Pilkington. If you want to make any comments, people say, I want to be part of the Festivus show. Then they don't send us anything.
It's a shame.
So quit emailing us questions or texting me questions if you're not going to be part of the that might be my Festivus hearing of grievance. Quit saying you're going to do something and not do it. Mark Miller, award-winning morning host on 107.9, who is a Pitt alum. Is he going to wear his cheesy Pitt apparel tomorrow?
Nah, DeMarco, I got it from the text that he might be wearing his cheesy Pitt apparel. So. He said he hopes so. He liked it. So DeMarco is voting yes on the Pitt stuff.
DeMarco wants to participate, and Joe Sampson will be with us somehow tomorrow. That's my understanding. And then we'll be off for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Back on the 26th, a bowl special with Jay Sunhalter, who will be in Annapolis calling the national radio feed. And Andrew Bays is scheduled to join us. He, of course, will be with Jim Szoke on the ECU Sports Network. We'll have Jim Szoke live with us in just a little bit.
Do it live!
And then we'll be back Monday. We'll be back Tuesday. We'll be back Wednesday. This is next week. And then off for the rest of that week and resume normal activities on the 5th. Part of Wednesday the 31st will be the annual, somewhat annual, P-Man's Rockin' New Year's Eve. So what is going to happen? We'll just react to the basketball game earlier that day, maybe have a guest and ring in the new year in whatever country it is. Maybe Romania? It turns midnight at Romania?
I'm thinking Eastern Europe, right? So mainland Europe, France, Spain, all that, it's a 6-hour difference. So Eastern Europe, I would say Romania, Latvia, Estonia, places like that, Belarus,
Latvia.
Ukraine.
It's lovely this time of year.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Gorgeous.
All those I would guess would be a 7-hour time difference. Just kind of picturing the map here blankly in my head.
Right. And then I think France, when we wrap up the show.
Yes, correct.
New Year's Eve, P-Man's Rockin' New Year's Eve. The spectacular that it is on Wednesday, next Wednesday. But first things first, Pilk, is all of your Christmas shopping done? It was your
It
sister's
is.
birthday this weekend. Did I get that right?
That was 2 weeks. That was last weekend. This weekend I just went home to go to the Panthers game. Last weekend was Emily's birthday.
Okay. Do you still get a gift for your sister?
Yeah, of course.
Did you give her a birthday gift?
Yeah, no, I got her some birthday gifts, and I've got her some Christmas gifts.
Oh, birthday gifts and Christmas gifts. You know what the gifts I give my siblings? The gifts of silence, because I never call them and I never pay attention to anything they're doing. I give them the gift of silence. That is a great gift as far as I'm concerned. Don't you think?
Yeah, I could say so.
I think it's a tremendous gift, to be honest with you. So, let me see this top 5. Do I have to pull rank on any of this? Jim Szoke coming up, as we mentioned. Let's eliminate the last one and do some college football playoff chatter.
All right, sounds good. We can read the opening lines for the college football playoff next round.
And then you can if you want to do a little news and notes roundup at the end, I think you should include that.
All right.
Or you could do it now. Sad news to report. Got the word late yesterday that Joe Dooley, the former ECU basketball coach, was involved in an apparent accident this weekend and is left the scene of an accident, is what the reporting is, suspected of DWI, and has been suspended from the Kansas basketball team. That happened yesterday, or at least came out yesterday as a report, and the suspension immediate. Kansas is playing, by the way, coming up tonight. They got Davidson and are a 16-point favorite at home, for those of you that might want to lay a little action on that. Let's see. What's the injury with there's a couple Canes injuries with your Carolina Hurricanes?
Yeah, there's 4 or 5. The big news is Seth Jarvis and Jacob Slavin are listed as week-to-week. Jarvis did miss 29 games earlier in the season. Slavin's been relatively healthy, but a couple guys, Jordan Martinook being one of them, listed as day-to-day, but a few guys listed as week-to-week after a tough weekend for the Canes. So we'll see. This time of year, Patrick, it's really weird. I don't know if you know this, but because of the Olympics, they're playing games at a more rapid rate. Like some of the teams are almost halfway through the season already, which is not normal. And there's been a lot of injuries this year in the NHL just due to games being played at a much more rapid rate than would normally be played due to that 3-week layoff they're going to have to go to Milan.
Well, I was going to say all because they're insistent upon playing in the Olympics, which your mileage may vary on that. I get it, but they need to approach it like college football players. Too much money at stake. I'm going to forego the Olympics like college football players forego the bowl games.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it's the pressure from the fans, man.
That fan stuff isn't coming to pass at the collegiate football level. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that's coming to pass. They're ignoring that altogether. All right. So those are some of the headlines. Good time yesterday with Brittany Hoyt calling women's basketball on ESPN Plus, and the women beat Campbell in blowout fashion, 81-59. They've won 4 in a row as they headed to their holiday break, and will open conference play against 3-point happy UAB on the 30th, so 8 days from now. All right, let's do the top 5.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard.
You ready?
Or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
I was remiss in mentioning this. We will have Pirate Game Day Countdown for you Saturday at 8 a.m., 8 to 10. Here on 94.3 The Game and the IBX Media app. You think Pilk yawns a lot during the show now? Well, just wait till then. But that is coming up as Pilk and I will be hosting it that day with thousands in attendance and millions listening around the world. We will be doing that on the IBX Media app at 94.3 The Game.
Number one, busy week in Pirate Athletics. It all gets started tonight when the men's basketball team travels to Chapel Hill, the Dean Smith Center, to take on the North Carolina Tar Heels, who opened as 27.5-point favorites. I think it's down to about 26 right now. And secondly, the Pirate football team will be in action on Saturday, as PJ mentioned. And here is Blake Harrell giving us the schedule for the rest of the week.
Yeah, just finished up our Monday practice. It was really like a Wednesday-type practice for us. We obviously, game day on Saturday, we're cramming as much as we can in first of the week here before we head up to D.C. We'll take off tomorrow. It was our last day in pads today. Tomorrow we'll have a quick run-through of practice in the morning before we get on the bus and head up that way. Wednesday we will practice when we get up there at the facility, probably just in helmets. And then Thursday we'll take off to, enjoy Christmas, celebrate with our families, have a Christmas service, celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. We'll have Santa Claus at brunch and do all those things that we do on Christmas. Get to go to the NFL game that day as well. Friday we'll have another practice, and game day is on Saturday, obviously, in preparation for that. But our main focus this week is keeping the main thing. Focus on our guys that are here with us and ready to go win a football game in the same way we've done it for the last 12 games. Urgency, intent, and purpose, how we prepare, how we do things, and make sure we're most excited, most team play the most effort on game day.
I was looking at a tweet earlier today about who are the people who are going to be the quarterbacks for the Christmas matchup. And it looks awful. I mean, Prescott and Goff, that's about it. Everybody else is
Bo Nix
shut down. By
Bo
the
Nix
way,
playing.
how about that myth yesterday?
They were due, man.
You doubted my Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, I didn't know you were a Jags fan.
I'm on the bandwagon now. Trevor Lawrence and his glowing, flowing locks goes in, throws for 3 touchdowns, runs for another. And here you were thinking the Jags were pretenders and not contenders. Are you ready to say the Jags are contenders?
I ate those words a couple weeks ago. I think the Jags they're a darn good football team, and right now the AFC's wide open, and there's no reason that they can't be the team that represents the AFC in the Super Bowl. And on top of that, the 1 seed is still available for them if they win their next 2 games. Denver falters in 1. And New England falters in 1. Jacksonville will be sitting on top of the AFC. Now, New England's got to play Miami and the Jets, so wish upon a star there, Jacksonville at home field advantage, but no reason they can't go to New England and get it done. Hell, they almost got it done in New England in 2017, and Tom Brady was playing quarterback that day. He's a little better than Drake May.
And Bo Nix.
Yeah.
But, I mean, are you inspired by any of that Christmas foot? And you kind of got to work to find it. I mean, if you're Jimmy and Jane Walmart, you got to work to find it. I mean, the women know what Prime is, but you know what I'm saying, Pilk? You got to track it down. And there's no flipping.
No, Netflix and Amazon.
You can bet your sweet tookus the numbers they put out on that are not the whole story. They're going to tell you it was watched by gazillion people. No.
Hey,
I don't deny maybe some people put it on in the background and just leave it kind of running. But, I mean, you can't move to something else that's going on that? No.
Hey, I'm telling you, if I'm Adam Silver, I'm happy right now because, as you mentioned, there's 3 legit quarterbacks playing, 1 in the first game, 1 in the second game, 1 in the third game, right? Every other game will have 1 kind of JV quarterback playing.
Sure, right.
So, and also, I mean, Dallas and Washington both eliminated. Lions playing for their lives. They'll probably just wreck Minnesota. And then Denver should handle Kansas City easily. I mean, heck, Kansas City lost to Tennessee.
Do you think Dom Kosolki now is
I think we're gonna lose.
reconsidering the fact when I said, don't you want him to sit J.J. McCarthy out so that he doesn't get hurt?
He might be.
He looked at me like I was nuts. And he was like, why would we do that? We need J.J. We got to play him. He's got to get snaps. I said he's fragile.
Yeah, I see both sides. Like he does need to play. You can't play if you can't learn how to play if you're not in the game. But also, if you get hurt, you can't play either. So, but you got to get him as many reps as possible for next year. But the tough thing is now, does he even start next year?
Dog?
Yeah.
You're going to be there next year, able to play, healthy.
We need to get Dom to join us live from Washington and
he's
defend
in Washington
his
State, isn't he?
Yeah. Or it's 2 in the afternoon.
You think Miss Kasolki's watching? I doubt that she is. As for the basketball game tonight, look, I hate to say it, but the Tar Heels will have the full attention of Hubert Davis, who is now works blue. I didn't realize Hubert worked blue now. Did you know that?
What do you mean works blue?
When a comedian works blue, they use a lot of swear words, and apparently Hubie now works blue. I didn't realize he did. I thought he was kind of a golly gee whiz. We're doing this for the homecoming dance, and we're going to be student athletes as long as I'm the coach, and the homecoming, the Letterman's jacket. I thought Hubie was wholesome, like, whole milk and bacon and sausage and eggs in the morning in the 50s. I thought Hubie, I didn't realize Hubie worked blue.
Hey,
according to the Ohio State coach, he works blue, which
So did Coach K. So, hey, look how many wins it got him.
I know, but it was bad when Coach K did. It's fine if Hubie works blue. Not good if Coach K dropped a few F bombs. Because, here's the dirty secret. They all do. When Dean Smith didn't, no. He probably said some things. Also, he had the little Dixie cup of George Dickel and the Chesterfields in his drawer that he would enjoy after the game.
Who doesn't, though?
Well, so anyway, East Carolina's not going to sneak up. I don't think there's any way tonight. After the narrow win against Ohio State, the Tar Heels will not be going into this lax, I don't think.
No. They're ready to make a statement before Christmas.
I would like to tell you, if they got exposed, but I didn't even watch the game because that made for television event. And then I don't know. That whole made for TV event that CBS puts on. And they didn't have Michigan State this year. They put St. John's in there.
No, UCLA is the team that's normally in there that got booted.
Oh, was it? I thought.
Yeah, it's usually
been in there.
It's usually Kentucky, Carolina, Ohio State, and UCLA.
Oh, why did they get booted?
I don't know, because they wouldn't put two Big Ten teams in.
I thought Michigan State had played in that in the past.
Maybe they had prior to Ohio State, but they wouldn't have two teams from the same conference in. Number two, the coaching carousel continues. Bobby Petrino finalizing the deal to be the new UNC coach, new UNC offense coordinator, Freeman, the coach.
Wait a minute. Time out.
Yep.
I didn't think they worked blue at UNC. I thought they had the Carolina way, not the Carolina looks the other way. I thought they had, so they've got another sugar daddy that likes them young. Can you believe this?
Yeah,
will Bill ride in the sidecar? That's my question. On the motorcycle, will Bill ride in the sidecar?
No, Jordan will. She'll be in his sidecar.
No. Jordan will be on the back with Bobby P.
There you go.
Arms around him. Hair Jordan will. Bill will be on the sidecar. Will be in the sidecar. Kind of plop him in there like a scoop of mashed potatoes. Plop him in there. Listen, I watched Kristen how do you pronounce her last name? Anyway, I watched that documentary. And it was really interesting from the standpoint, it really laid out everything in a very clean way. And it almost felt like the introduction to something. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't have time to watch it this weekend. I was traveling, so.
Like if you watch it, if it had 30 more minutes, in other words, this has a multi-part thing. And, I know, again, they're producing it through the auspices of Not Your Granddaddy's Big Five. But to me, it would seem like this could be the type of thing with a little more, it felt constrained by time. But if they had time to develop it, it's a hell of a layout for you kind of forget everything that has gone on since they hired him. And this kind of recaps all of it in good detail with some analysis. But it's one of those things that, boy, the rest of the story is really going to be fascinating. And, I mean, it's the type of thing, it's almost like they're getting the jump before this winds up on Apple TV or Netflix or something like that.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a 30 for 30 on it for show.
Well, that too. That could be the case. Were we on? Oh, yeah.
We were on.
So anyway, they hire Bobby Petrino, who went, 0-7 as the interim coach of Arkansas?
Yep.
Well, birds of a feather tend to flock together.
Other quick coaching notes. It was reported by Tom Pelissero that Marcus Freeman is emerging as the Giants' favorite to be their new head coach.
Really?
And Biff Poggi has interviewed to be Michigan's full-time head coach. Obviously, he's currently the interim in Ann Arbor.
That's it.
What's interesting is they don't, like, the guy at Arizona who seems like a dope at Arizona State, has turned him, he signed a deal, so he's staying there. I guess something has come up that's questionable in the background of the guy out in Washington. So he's not going to be. This is going to be Biff's job, isn't it?
It is, because
end up being Biff's job, isn't it?
Yeah, because what's his name from Iowa State already went to Penn State. He's always kind of the hot commodity. He's
Timu. He's Timu
Yeah.
James Franklin. Can't be in the top 25.
Exactly.
But anyway,
and then look, why am I drawing? Sataki signs his extension at BYU. Texas Tech gets their guy extended. Vandy gets their guy extended. Like, everybody's got extended.
Leave BYU.
No, he wasn't. But the point is, everybody's been extended. Biff's the only guy left, I guess, unless you get a coach who gets fired, next Monday or 2 Mondays from now from the NFL.
Why are they not calling Brian Kelly?
They don't want to deal with him and his family.
He changed his accent to more. You start calling it pop in a heartbeat to go up there. All right, DeMarco, give us a number 3.
Number 3.
All righty, number 3, baby.
All righty.
Nothing finer than to be in Carolina, because the Carolina Panthers are in first place in the NFC South.
You're very excited about this, aren't you? All of a sudden, you're really excited about all of this. All of a sudden, very interesting. All right, this is what Dave Canales had to say.
We talked about moments that come up, and we had a last drive where we had to put it together to get ourselves to get points and take the lead. The offense came together, made some plays,
and Bryce Young leads his 6th game-winning drive of the year.
Great pockets. They did a great job of getting open, making catches. I trust on those guys, and it's a fun place to be.
Am I a Bryce believer now?
I think you're starting to be.
No. Yeah, I mean, I will say this. When they blitzed, he actually did a great job. It made him more dangerous when they started to blitz. He handled that beautifully. He had the ability to keep the plays going. Amazing stuff.
Yeah, the only mistake he made, and I don't even know if it was really a mistake, there was a play where we were trying to kind of run hurry up. Might have been the end of the first half, and the defense was in a Tampa 2, and he realized that, so he told Rico to go out and just turn 5 yards and stop, but he forgot to tell Rico to hesitate before, so the Mike backer, took one step in his drop, screamed downhill. Carolina almost got 3 yards, and it kind of almost killed the drive, but it ended up not doing it. They rebounded, and literally him not telling Rico, hey, chill out, pretend like you're blocking for 2 seconds, is the biggest mistake he made yesterday.
So 8-7 with 2 to go, Seattle coming to town, and then down to Tampa. You enjoy this, Pilk, because it could go from sugar to sour pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
So just enjoy it.
It could. I'll be honest with you, last night walking out of the stadium, I was happy that we didn't have to, have an uphill climb, but I was kind of ticked off. I was I looked at my dad and said, I'm more ticked off about the Saints' loss right now than I was at this point last week. I mean, we should be walking out screaming we're going to the playoffs, but you can't beat the freaking Saints.
Will they beat the Seahawks?
Probably not, but even if they do, it's not going to matter because there ain't no way Tampa Bay is losing to Quinn Ewers.
In Miami?
Yeah.
It's a bad situation in Miami, isn't it? Awful.
Yeah, I like I like the team coached by Belichick better than I do the Dolphins. All righty.
He calling the plays?
Yeah, number 4. Sticking with the NFL, the Chiefs are leaving Arrowhead Stadium after 53 years. In 2031, they're building a new complex in Kansas. How about that? Kansas City will actually play in Kansas for the first time ever.
We're not in Kansas anymore. I think so it's 20. Okay, I didn't realize it was that far out.
Yeah. You know, you got to put $9 billion into these. It's probably going to be a dome. God forbid you play football outside.
Because they'll want to have a Super Bowl there. So it'll be a dome. And it will also, Pilkington, this will be in Kansas City, Kansas, right? I mean, this will be in the Kansas City Metro, but in the Kansas side of things. I knew someone from Kansas City, Kansas once. The other part of this is that, and here's what I can't believe, Pilk, that Uncle Rico, ECU alum Garner Minshew, tears his ACL yesterday.
I've never heard of the guy who got in the game.
Why would you? How would you?
I guess I don't watch enough of the FCS playoffs.
Christmas Day, isn't he? He's one of the starters on Christmas Day, isn't he?
Yep. Unless they call Ryan Tannehill.
Kansas City playing? Who's
Denver?
Or Cam Newton?
Yeah.
Denver?
Oh yeah, got to call Cam. Yeah. Denver's going to be ticked off.
City. Are we on 4? What number are we on? 18?
We're on 5.
Which one are we on?
Oh. 5.
5. Yeah. This is a UPJ. We want to talk college football playoffs.
You know, I thought for all of the hate that Tulane and James Madison got, you can't blame Tulane and James Madison for playing by the rules that were set out by the people who didn't want them in. They just did what they needed to do to get in. And then, you know, all the talking heads this weekend, nationally, you hear the same thing, Pilk. Well, we want the best 12 teams. We want the most competitive those first 2 games, I guess Alabama's comeback was good, but I mean, it was all the one thing they have gotten right in all of this are the campus environments. Because both Oklahoma and especially Texas A&M were great environments, it seemed like.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ole Miss was too, but the game became such a blowout. I didn't stick with it. Oregon seemed like a good environment. And I thought James Madison was a little more competitive. They just made some mistakes early. And you can't let Oregon score in their first 5 possessions. But they hit a trick play, got it down to the 10, and had they not screwed the pooch on that, you know, maybe it's a different story. I thought
both
James
teams
Madison made a good accounting of themselves.
Tulane did the same thing, not without the trick play, but they drove down and then turned it over and then allowed a long run. And
sure. Yeah. And, I mean, that's kind of the problem. It seemed to me more that and this is the way kind of, I mean, like, you could still make plays, as we saw in that game, obviously with trick plays, because you have guys that are skilled on offense. But you know where it kind of fell short to me, Pilk, was defensively you could tell defense, the Tulane, James Madison defense, those athletes didn't match up very well with the offense for the other side.
No,
so that's where the discrepancy is when you're going, I guess, P4 and G5. Here's my other question, Bill. It was a competitive game, but by no stretch of the imagination was Miami and Texas A&M a good or entertaining football game. Now, it was good at the end because it was competitive and it was tight and there was some drama, but that was not a great game. I didn't think. Did you?
Yeah, the best part of the game was, Patrick, I was wondering, would there be so many field goals missed by Miami that I would have forgot how to count that high since I was in school?
Right. Sure. And then, you know, I left it when it was 17-0. I was tired. I just went to bed. Alabama had. Actually, I went to bed at halftime, and I thought I'm not going to watch Alabama come back. So I don't know how that. But I mean that. Even at least for the first half, that wasn't a great game. I didn't think.
No.
It was a fine game. Okay matchup, but I mean Alabama still doesn't belong in this thing. And Oklahoma was kind of fraudulent, apparently.
I don't think there's really that many good teams. I mean, Indiana's good. Ohio State's solid. We'll see about Texas Tech.
I think Texas Tech's national title good.
I think it's all going to come down to they get serviceable quarterback play. He's okay, but he's not great. The other two teams got much better quarterbacks.
Yeah. And there's too much layoff. Go ahead and play these things.
Yeah.
Give them some time to get healthy, but let's go. Let's play these things. All right. We'll hit a break. Lengthy opening drive. And when we come back, Jim Szoke, more on the Panthers' big win yesterday and a preview of the Pirates and Pitt from Jim's perspective.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. Do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout Eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
See its better days. During a really hard rain, get a leak. Call a roofing contractor, and before they even look at it, they say you need a new roof. Maybe do, or maybe it can be repaired and last for a few more years. Whichever the case, Langley Contracting will give you an honest assessment, whether it's commercial or residential. Langley will get the job done. With their own employees, not a collection of subcontractors. So you know they have much better control over the quality of your roof. That's why you get a 25-year warranty. So whether it's roofing or gutter installation, call the professionals at Langley Contracting. Easy number to remember. 252-214-ROOF. That's 214-ROOF. Langley Contracting. 214-ROOF. That's Riley Contracting and Roofing. 252-214-ROOF.
Listen up. He's talking now.
Sorry, thought we were vibing.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Jim Szoke joins us, Panthers Radio Network. Jim will also be in Maryland, calling the Military Bowl for the second straight year as the Pirates take on Pitt. Panthers in first place right now after yesterday's win. Jim, I thought, when it came out and it's that final Panthers drive and they're saying 5 game-winning drives this year in the fourth quarter engineered by Bryce Young. And so I'm sitting with some guys watching it in a studio, and one of the producers is a Dolphins fan. And, of course, I think it was week 5 against the Dolphins or something like that. And he said, oh, well, there were a bunch of penalties. That shouldn't count, be given to Bryce Young, blah, blah, blah. But he did a fantastic job, I thought. And then I thought yesterday, too, Jim, when they brought the blitz, Tampa brought the blitz, he actually handled that extremely well with his ability to kind of keep plays alive. So Bryce Young emerging before our eyes, it would appear on some level.
Yeah, 3 years in, right? We're seeing that, but he does do a good job. You're right. There's a couple of things he kind of consistently does well. He's good about being mobile out of the pocket and extending plays like that touchdown pass to the tight end JT Sanders when he kind of rolled out to the left side. And then he's clutch in the fourth quarter. Has 12 game-winning drives, if you will, fourth quarter drives, whatever you want to call them, in his career. So most of the victories have come with some kind of, I always caution, he did his role. He did his part because, somebody had to kick the 48-yard field goal, things like that. Like Ryan Fitzgerald's like, hey, I kicked the 48-yard field goal, me too. So there's other people doing stuff out there to make it happen. And but he does have a knack for coming up with, like, some of his deepest throws tend to come when it's needed in the fourth quarter, things like that, finding Jalen Coker, finding Ketterwell McMillan during the game. So I do think there's a lot to like about Bryce, and then you kind of know what some of the limitations are. And I think Dave Canales and Brad Idzik, the offensive coordinator, do a good job of, as best they can, tailoring a plan that fits their quarterback. And he does have that ability to hit that second play, as we say sometimes, where the first play is kind of blown up by the pressure. He does ad-lib and kind of find that second play sometimes.
One of the interesting things at the end was that, did they just blow that, or did Baker maybe anticipate? Was it intended for Mike? Who was it intended for? The end, Pilk.
It was for Mike Evans. So what happened apparently, what Baker said was when he started to scramble out of the pocket on the pass option, he thought Evans was going to go to where he threw the ball, but Evans thought, he's scrambling, he's going to run. I'm going to vacate. I'm going to isolate and let him clear out and have some room over there. So that was it wasn't they threw to the wrong spot, but that Mike Evans was not expecting a throw, so he ran a different route because of that.
Do you think what is it about Tampa right now that they're not on the same page and not maybe quite clicking like they were? Is it Baker's banged up? Is it all the injuries? Is there discord? Because there was a lot of speculation on that pre and post game yesterday.
Yeah, part of it is the Panthers have handled all their offensive line injuries better than Tampa has. Tampa lost their guards early on. They've kind of struggled all season with that aspect of it. That I guess the replacements aren't nearly the caliber of what they need as far as the starters were there. So that's kind of made for some chaos for Baker back in the pocket there. And then you're right with that non-throwing shoulder injury. He had the same thing happen as last year in Cleveland. He got injured tackling a guy on an interception, and he played through it. He got out all year, and he didn't play that great. He kind of played like he is now. And they go, you're not that great anymore, so we're going to get Deshaun Watson, which was a magical choice. I think it's almost like history's repeating itself. Like, here's Baker gutting it out again. People are like, what's wrong with Baker? And I think probably he is dealing with some discomfort and not as – he started out the year with 13 touchdowns and 2 picks, and his numbers have gone way down since then, like 176 yards per game since the injury, things like that. So he's got Evans back. They have all the receivers. They got all the running backs. But he's not been as good in the offensive line just all year. It's kind of been a problem for him.
You know, Jim, I've done some officiating, but I've never added 20 seconds onto the clock and said, oh, they actually wanted to call a timeout 20 seconds ago. Can you explain that? Did you ever get an explanation on that? Because I said some things in the stands that I might text you what I said earlier. I got some laughs, but probably would get fined by the FCC.
I did not. So that one, I did actually. I even went and watched the press conference and stuff. I didn't hear an answer either post game, and we talked to Canales for Panther Talk. I've not heard an explanation. So I took that to mean it was not an issue. Whatever it was correct to put the time on. So I'm guessing that part of it's right. Otherwise, everybody would be screaming bloody murder. But the actual rule as to how that got put on, I don't know. But it seems to not be an error. I guess I'll put it that way.
Okay, well,
I thought they said something. It was Dowdle was injured, or they thought Dowdle was injured. The officials, is that? Did
right, and so they incorrectly ran the clock down because of it. So I guess that was it. But nobody on either side had an issue with the reset. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least I feel better now that Coach Canales didn't have an issue. So, Jim, you know, the great thing is Bryce has been playing well. It seems like this Rico being the first and second down back and Chuba being the third was working there for a couple weeks, and now it once again this week not really going as well as we thought it would. Is this teams are just kind of learning how to play it, or is this just, hey, law of averages, you can't run for 200 yards every week?
It is. So I actually asked Coach Canales about it today, and I said both running backs in the traditional run game under 30 yards, they had the Jimmy Horn receiver run for 25 yards. And I said, our team's just taken away. He goes, they are. And he said, credit to them. They did just enough up front. But he said a lot of those, when he went back and looked at them today or last night, he said, we're literally a shoestring tackle of Rico here. This is like things that almost broke. So the whole thing just looks like it's under 3 yards per carry. If he had broken one of those off, we'd have a different story to tell. So it sounds like some near misses on having some big gashes in the run game. But he mostly said credit to Tampa Bay. They won a lot of those matchups up front by just a margin of not much to be able to stop them from running the ball the way they wanted to.
Speaking of Jimmy Horn, I mean, obviously that play was great, but I can't remember the last time, Jim, I saw a play that set up another play so well in the second half, because that Bryce Young run was 100% set up by the Jimmy Horn run on the second play of the game. I mean, great coaching by Canales.
Yeah, see, that's when you have that, that kind of the rhythm that goes with play calling, and that's what people were complaining about earlier in the year, that it felt choppy and out of sync as far as just the thought process of the play calls. And I think I think they've had some conversations like Bryce and Canales about, later here in the season, I think Bryce is more comfortable on some design runs here and there and doing some other things in addition to the ones that are off script. So, I mean, he could do it. I mean, this kid's not good. You and I talked about it last week. He's not great at sliding, but he is agile and he's athletic, and he can get kind of lost in a crowd like a smaller running back would, that kind of thing. And so when he does kind of duck down behind a lineman, he's hard to locate sometimes, and can use that on occasion to an advantage when he gets out there in the run game.
All right, Jim Szoke, Panthers Radio Network, Panther Talk here on 94.3 The Game at 7 tonight. Make sure you tune in for that. And you have the ex-Panther Sam Darnold, who could come into Charlotte and dash this whole thing, make this whole, well, I should say really dash. I mean,
not the whole thing, yeah.
The Panthers have the tougher road, obviously, because they have to they get Seattle, who's still very much playing for something, and is won, I think, five or six in a row. They might have the longest win streak now that Denver. Yeah, I think they may have the longest win streak now that Denver got beat. And, you look at that, Jim, and then you got to go to Tampa, which is not going to be an easy situation because it's a road game. So give us a little primer here. Is Darnold playing that well? I mean, do you see anything is there anything to this coming east, and they got to play at 10 in the morning Seattle time? Anything to that? I mean, what can we kind of hang our hopes on here?
Yeah, I mean, the Rams had to do it, and the Panthers were able to win that game. So maybe there is some amount of factor to that. But no, Darnold's playing well. I think Jackson Smith-Njigba's maybe the best receiver in all of football this year. So Sam Darnold's got a lot to do with that. And he was clutch, obviously. They got that late touchdown, the 2-point conversion to beat the Rams last time out, 39-38. But he played well in Minnesota. What happened to him was he had that bad playoff game. He kind of had A couple that were not great at the end of the season for Minnesota last year. They had a 4-interception game earlier this year, so that's going to happen, I guess, in the course of a 17-game season. They're not all going to be great, but by and large, he's played really well, and they're 12-3. Their 3 losses have been by 2, 3, and 4 points all this year. So, I mean, they're really good, and they're like a 7.5-point favorite already over the Panthers in this one. So, yeah, you're right. It would be an upset to do it. The Panthers obviously did do that against the Rams, have beaten teams like Green Bay and stuff like that. But Seattle's also got, with Quinn Ewers, a much easier matchup with Miami. So it feels like we're going to, what you said earlier, we're going to have to go to Tampa Bay and beat the Bucs again and how the Panthers going to play out. Because even if the Panthers lose, it still comes down to that game. Win or lose, it's going to come that way unless Miami somehow beats Tampa Bay, and I'm not expecting that. So I'm expecting the Bucs to take care of business, which means it's all going to come down to that last sort of a playoff primer game down at Tampa coming up in 2 weeks.
Well, that's exciting. At least you're in this thing till the end, one way or the other. It'd be great if somehow Miami could spring this, but with the way you were, no, I don't see that happening. All right, Jim, you got the Military Bowl. When do you head up to Annapolis? There will be a bowl special at 5 o'clock on 94.3 The Game, live on Friday. And then we'll have a special Patrick Johnson show after that at 6 o'clock on Friday. So looking forward to all of that. What do you have as far as your thoughts on this with all of the opt-outs and change? And it was interesting. We were doing some stuff for that show, for the Friday show today. And just kind of working through this. I don't expect the offense to me. I'm not so much worried about ECU's defense, with Blake Harrell calling it, as much as I think the offense is going to look tremendously different, and I think it's going to be really run predicated. And I don't know if that's a great matchup for ECU.
Yeah, well, it's a couple things with the offense, right? We've now lost the quarterback, the starting running back, the starting receiver, and one of the 2 starting tight ends. To me, Riles and Connor were even, and obviously John David Baker. So that's where the attrition has happened. And then defensively, not only do you have Blake, but you as far as I know, we have all the players. So that side of the ball is in good shape as far as everything goes over there. And I think, so I would say to what you're saying, philosophically, your thought is defense is going to be your strength, keep the score low. Pitt doesn't really run the ball well, so as long as you can contain that pass game, that's your best chance there. And then with the 2 quarterbacks out there, try to probably keep it as simple as possible, which means probably a lot of run. You got a lot of other good running backs on this team, and you still got some good receiving options with Anthony Smith, obviously, Brock Spalding crew. So, pick your spots. You still got to play your style of ball. You'll do some tempo, I would think. But I would think probably a little less gas pedal just because of that. You're playing a Power 4 school team. That's obviously a heavier, you're the underdog to that you want to kick that can down to the fourth quarter, see if you get a close game like the NC State game and get out of there with a win.
Yeah, and I do think too, going back with a second year to the Military Bowl, and then in light of some of these opt-outs and changes, I don't know. I hope I'm wrong about this, but it just seems like the vibe is it's kind of a dampened feeling, And here's the weather's actually going to be pretty decent for that part of the country this time of the year. It's going to be, in some respects, a lot better than it was last year, and I just wonder if people are going to go to it, for all these things we've just talked about.
Yeah, and I was thinking like the Pittsburgh side, like they're all salty on the fan side about having to play a Group of 5 team. They, thought they were the caliber of being like a bigger bowl game. They have different tiers within the ACC, and they thought they got dropped down by a tiebreaker by the ACC to a lower bowl than what they wanted. So they're probably not that excited about traveling to it. ACC and tiebreakers
in the ACC.
Yeah, I'm surprised. How's Duke not playing for the national championship at this time? I don't know, but they're probably not going to be represented there that much. So Anish Shroff, of course, does the Panther games with us. He did the Gasparilla Bowl, which was the NC State Bowl game, and he showed us a video he took of the stadium in game. And it was like friends and family only. And I know that was like one of the ones that I think ECU fans would have filled up much better than even NC State did for that one, because I think a lot of fans would have enjoyed that. But you know what? You won 8 games. You got a chance for 9. far as the football part of it goes, I mean, celebrate that it's a team that wins enough games to get invited to bowl games. I don't know. I know there's financial aspects that go into it. You can go to a bowl game and lose money, so you don't want to do that either. So I get the whole thing of trying to balance all of that. And back-to-back to the same bowl game's not the best thing, but Annapolis is a great town, and the Military Bowl puts on a good show. And like you said, the weather will be better than last year. But I could also see why some people are like, well, I just did that trip, and the quarterback's not playing. So I certainly can understand those who won't necessarily make the trip, but hopefully get a good amount of fans up there anyway. It made a huge difference last year up there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely did. Hey, Jim, thanks a lot. Merry Christmas to you, and we'll look forward to talking to you next Monday.
Yeah, Patrick, Phil, have a great Christmas. We'll talk to you guys this weekend.
Merry Christmas, Jim.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Jim Szoke, quick break, come back, wrap it up after this.
Hey folks, this is Coach Steve Logan. My friends at Dogwood State Bank are pirates, and they are changing the landscape of community.
Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
At Parker's Barbecue, our family has been serving your family for 3 generations.
For that, we say thank you.
Blessing families every Thursday. Kids eat free all day. That's the Parker's way.
Legendary food served from our 3 locations. Always quick, always delicious. That's the Parker's way.
At Parker's, our mission is to impact our customers through Christ-like service in a way that feeds them both physically and spiritually. That is the Parker's way.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
So you call your virtual insurance company to ask a simple question about your policy, but now you're on hold listening to this music while you wait and... wait. Auto Owners works with local independent agents who tailor coverage to meet your needs and pick up the phone when you call, because you shouldn't be on hold so long that you memorize the music. That's simple human sense.
Call Weatherly Insurance Agency at 756-9900 or online at weatherlyinsurance.com.
Looking for outdoor storage? Maybe a she shed, man cave, tiny home, or greenhouse. If so, East Carolina Outdoor Products is your one-stop shop. East Carolina Outdoor Products has just opened 2 locations in Greenville, on Memorial Drive across from Ron Ayers and on Greenville Boulevard across from AccuLink. East Carolina Outdoor Products also custom builds right in your lot. East Carolina Outdoor Products is the only company in Eastern North Carolina that manufactures, delivers, and sells outdoor storage buildings. And they're pirates. 10 locations in Eastern North Carolina.
now, the stunning conclusion.
Why is everyone screaming?
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, final practice for ECU. Walk through tomorrow. They'll head to Annapolis, and we will have more details on our bowl coverage coming up for you tomorrow. All right, that'll do it for today. Back tomorrow with the Festivus edition of the Patrick Johnson Show coming up. All right.
It'll be a Festivus miracle.
It'll be a Festivus for the rest of us. Have a great evening, everybody.